Good morning, gamers, and welcome back to the IEM Qualifier here for Chicago. We are working our way through the European region, Snods, and we're doing pretty damn good. The games have been exciting. Obviously, at this point, we've now got to our second map of day two. It's North versus Heroic. First map was looked like it was going to be a Heroic win, but in the end, it was a bit of a North upset.
It did, didn't it? Obviously, Heroic, very good start, 7-0 up in the lead. They lose 7 rounds in a row to North. It's 7-7. Heroic win the halftime, 8-7. And you're thinking, okay, Heroic's map pick. They've won 8 rounds on their T side. It's their map pick, obviously, and now they're on the favored CT side. Defense, surely they're gonna, close out the rest of those 8 rounds and send us to Inferno. North's map pick and maybe get to a starting map on Mirage. But instead, second half did not look very good on their CT side defense. North just outskilled them, outplayed them, and simply put, they just couldn't quite deal with the close spacing, I guess is probably the way to describe it, where if you saw from North, a lot of the times when they were pushing towards the B site, for example, it was trades, right?
Yep.
The players were so close, they were always trading deaths, and because of that, it was 4 versus 4s, 3 versus 3 after plant positions, which MSL, North won every single time. Now we're in Inferno, the map pick from North, one of their best maps.
It is, and it's also where we can see this team grow and carry on because they've actually been looking pretty good overall. Again today, it wasn't a one-off. MSL yesterday looked good. Today coming back into it, still playing pretty confident, but even more so, adaptation here now starts. It wasn't just the fact that it was a very restricted defensive CT side up, just holding angles, waiting for the push to come towards him. At a certain point when he realized mistakes have been made and things need to switch up, he was going aggressive. He was playing a bit more dynamic. He was switching up angles, and it was good to see. So overall, still a consistent level of gameplay coming out from MSL. Everything looked good across the board for the roster. You get into a map where they're going to feel a lot more comfortable even from the get-go as well. It's going to be worrying for Heroic. Obviously for Heroic in terms of the sub coming in with N-Sub, he did look pretty good. He actually was able to do a fair bit of damage, fit into the team.
Held his own, right? Yeah. The funny thing is, you mentioned, MSL having a good game. On paper, I think he had 13 kills, or when I checked it when it was like 13 to 8, or they were close to winning, he had 11 kills, and everyone else in his team had 20. So it was more so about the impactfulness of those kills, right? He may have had 11 kills, but he had 4 entries.
Oh, yeah.
Well, 3 entries on the CT side, plus entries on the T side as well, but it was mostly the fact that he's one of the key reasons they even got to 7 rounds, 1 in a row on their CT side. And yeah, even though he got 11 kills on the first half, very impactful play, so it sort of catches you by surprise when you do take a look at maybe the HOTV afterwards and see he didn't even get 15, 20 kills, but in reality it was impactful.
Well, that's the thing, frags don't mean everything, right? It's depending on how you get those frags, what you do. Obviously an eco frag versus an entry with the AWP like that, it's very different in terms of how much that's going to be beneficial to the team. And
if we are going to speak about the AWPers between these two teams, has to be said, Mertz, he can't drop 6, 7 kills across 25, 26 rounds on a map like Train as well. Yeah. As the AWPer, not only obviously the most expensive gun and have that caveat of being in a star position, but it's also the fact that it's Train, and if you're not nullifying the other AWPer with your AWP, then he has the chance to wreak havoc against your team, which we saw on the CT side from MSL, able to find multiple entries, and all in all, just need to see a better play, a better game, better performance from Mertz into Inferno. And I think he could definitely have his second wind into this second map and put up the numbers, but I still think it's a 2-0 here for North.
He's got to wake up and really bring something fresh to the table, because it was slow. It's also the fact as well that MSL, for those first couple of rounds where they were actually allowing Heroic to win so much, right? We didn't even really see an AWP coming out on Mertz, but he could have done it. He could have done so much with that extra as well, because it was such a slow, restricted playstyle from MSL. That basically alludes into wanting him to just go for those aggressive, early, fast picks. That's the sort of AWPer he is. He's fast, he's flashy, he's ferocious, but in terms of the gameplay we saw there, it was very deadpan. It wasn't actually energetic at all.
So the problem you have when you're a flashy, quick, snappy sort of AWPer is, if your individual skill isn't there, what do you have to fall back on? It's your positioning and your intelligence as a player that can get you that consistent 20, 15, 18 kills a map. If you look at Device as well, in terms of skill, yes, he's very good. That's why he's one of the best players in the world, but it's also his positioning, his intellect with the AWP that actually enables him to get those 20 kills a map. I think 2017 he averaged 20 kills or 21 kills, something ludicrous like that over the course of a whole year on every single map that he played. And obviously it's not going to be the 30, the 35 kills from a Simple or a Nico that wins you that one map, but it's more so the fact that you have a player getting impactful kills each and every game. That gives you that fighting chance.
Yeah, you need the consistency. That is going to be the main key to it, obviously. If you can do it every round, time in, time out, it's going to work better for you than it being the one-off 4K or the one-off 3K. If you know you're going to consistently get those 2 frags you need every time, that's going to be the better outcome. And hopefully we can see that carry on, obviously, once we do get into this affair. Over on Inferno, the second map of the best of 3. This is North's map pick, so it bodes well. They were able to actually get the counter pick there off of Heroic. If they can 2-0 this, Snods, they're going to be carrying on. Obviously, at that point, we've got, what, 2 more games in the lower bracket to go?
So, I think North would play the winner of Gambit versus Space Soldiers. That'd be a very good matchup, if obviously North win this one. So maybe Space Soldiers of recent form. Gambit online didn't look too good. They looked decent at Shanghai, but not that good online.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Thank you very much. So Space Soldiers did win the first map. North versus Space Soldiers could be our next matchup if things do go 2-0 on both sides of the lower bracket. And obviously then you would have the loser from ENCE Avantgarde play the winner of North versus potentially Gambit for the second spot of the qualification.
I feel like this is shaping up, to be sort of North versus Space Soldiers, then possibly Space Soldiers versus Avantgarde lower bracket final. I feel like that's the way this is going, Snods. Well, we are in, nevertheless. Heroic on the CT side. North will be the troublesome terrorists. Let's see how this one's going to go down. They have the 1 map advantage. Are they going to 2-0 it? Or is there potential for a little old reverse sweep?
Flashbang coming in towards middle. Allows for the peek from Asilian, but unable to land the headshots. This is Tag whoever can. It's going to be the 5 versus 4. Tag coming in through the wall onto Merton towards the balcony, but not quite enough damage to cement that kill.
So Nico, playing around by the boiler right now, just holds his own, sitting in position, was waiting to see if potentially he could cut off the rotate or hear some audio cues, but they've gone for the big stack. It's a bold call, but it actually might save their bacon at the end of the day because it seems like North do want to develop this round into a late round B attack. Oh, but they second guess themselves, Nods. They send the sub back towards A.
Smoke from MSL and Valde as well coming in for CT. Most likely Coffin as well. It's going to be Tag and Freiberg to hold the line here towards B.
They bombard their way through, going to try and just overwhelm and hit them hard with the pressure on the bomb site. Nico finds both of the entries. They've lost AZ in the crossfire. Unfortunately, that is 1 casualty down. They spam through the smoke, hoping they could connect on the bomb planter at the very least, but instead it will be a frag found for Mertz as he strikes against MSL. Has to go for the reload. It's a bloodbath on the bomb site, and it's now a 1 versus 2 for Valde. Given a cheeky amount of time to go for the quick reload, but when he does go for the peek, he is done for. Demolished there as he gets hit by the bulldozer that is Mertz. Already a better game. He's coming strong into the pistol round with a double kill. Maybe that's the confidence boost he needs.
Counter-terrorists win.
Wow. Heroic there, the strong retake. North losing the afterplant in the pistol round. 1-0 then as we go into the second round of this matchup. North. Wow, going to go for the force buy off the back of that bomb plant, able to afford the MP5 buy. Maybe this is something that we're going to be seeing more in the meta, if the MP5 is as strong as it seems to be. So, Nico with the solid MP5. Apart from that, 3 CZs, a 1 P250. The utility is very strong here from North. They can go for a good abs burst here. Smoke off Arch, smoke off Mini Pit, flash up through Boiler. Maybe get 1 or 2 players in towards Quad, 3 players bursting out apartments. This could be a very swift first, well, sort of force buy round.
Can you imagine so? If they do go for the burst plays, they're going to try and sprint their way straight out. They're taking a ton of damage distributed across the entire team, but it is going to be the battle of the MP5s, and so far they go for a trade. Nico finds the first kill there as he adapts back onto the CTs. Asilian from the site trying to stay alive. They do detect MSL, who was hiding in the back line, still working around towards mid. They are in pit, but they're trapped in pit. You've got the man that's going to try and cut off the rotate in Kirby, but they actually sent S-Tag back over towards the B bomb site. Snots. That chicken's having a bit of a run as well. That's quite interesting. AZ with a P250. Tapping out. Does get the little dink on Mertz. They've gone for the full rotate on S-Tag. It's going to go the whole way around. Kirby needs to start to push up. If he can get them in the backstab before S-Tag gets there, it could be a huge play.
You're right. The frag towards Library between S-Tag and Kiabi could be what sets up the winner of this round. Well, actually, no. Kiabi going to be coming in from Quad instead to back up his teammates right in front of the action. Really able to find the first entry in towards the site. Another one as well going to be found here for North as it's all down to S-Tag. 1 versus 1.
the confusion when they went towards the bomb site. Everyone tunnel visioned in on the A site, suspecting that they had all stacked on the position potentially. As the tag was able to get a spray down with the MP5. Now he's back to the 1v1, but he peeks, and AZ finds that shot with the M4. Yeah, that much finesse. He had time to just float in the air to celebrate.
Yeah, the servers couldn't handle that level of skill.
It was beautiful.
1-1. North able to win their 4-spy, and now maybe draw out another 4-spy from Heroic themselves. Mertz is going to be investing into the Deagle. Interesting as well, he does buy the Deagle, not a CZ. He now has $1,050. If you want to AWP into the first buy with armor, you need $1,100, so he's $50 shy. So he does need a kill if he wants to have that into the buy rounds, but North just going to be going towards the B site. S-Attack with an MP5 finds one, however.
A damage dump as MSL dunks down. MSL, he's had a ton of nade kills in the series so far. Mertz, seeing what he can get up to as well, if he can cause some mischief. Mischief. There we go. As the push is going to come back around. They've got backstab potential. They're going to try and hit with the two-pronged attack. They want to go for this push in. You've got a minute and 15 seconds on the clock as well, but through the smoke, Valde decimates. Get that kill on Mertz. Things aren't looking too fantastic. It might be tied up into a 2v2, but the Arsenal is a whole lot stronger for North. They've got the better angles to play from as well. Valde now pushes out after getting that follow-up frag. Stillion charges in, does dink down, find the frag. He doesn't have too much time, so he needs to be rapid about it. Had to sprint towards the bomb. The flashbang went over, but Valde just peeks straight through it and gets the kill. So North, they get the second round.
Even then, though, Heroic in a 3 versus 3 retake like that. Mertz on no Kevlar, and they still make it into a 1 versus 1 between Asilian. So North might have to be upping their after plants going forward if they want to secure the 2-0. But anyway, round number 4, here's going to be the eco coming out from Heroic. Mac 10, MP5 for AZ and MSL so they can farm up some cash, but this is a very good read here from Heroic to stack towards the B side.
The burst comes in, the frags going the way of the T so far as they do cause a bit of a stir, and that is a quick rounds, Nods. Everyone's been blown to bits. They tried to see what they could get out of it in terms of the stack play. They got 2 frags, but that is the end of it.
Not sure if I agree with this, Jack. Mertz going for the potential overinvestment with the Deagle in the second round. It means he has no armor now for the AWP, and on Inferno, if you're going to solo towards the B site, you need Kevlar to be as tanky as possible towards top banana. If you're going to go for a mid-peak versus rifles and towards Vietnam, for example, you don't want to be tagged up and dead instantly. So it does restrict your play, but thankfully, you have an advantage elsewhere. S-Tag and Freiburg combine for a kill onto MSL in towards banana, so that's the advantage in their favor early on.
Ooh. They are actually picking them apart, stealing constant big blows. And you can see North crumbling under the pressure because of it. It's all up to AZ and Nico now to try and save the day, but they're not into a fantastic position. Nico is able to get the kill with the MP5 as he tears his way through Mertz's noggin, busting his skull clean open. 2 players left now. What do the North do from here? They're going to sprint their way in, but the response is there. Actually, AZ finds the kill. He was able to get the better of him. The nade's going to roll in, but it's Asilian to save the day. And Heroic are now only 1 round away from trying to tie it back up, make it the 3-3 in terms of the rounds.
$7,000 though for Nico. So we can drop over another AK as well to MSL if you wanted to, but it could even go for utility or just the drop itself. So 5 AKs. Only 3 smokes to work with, so not the most utility, but now Mertz has Kevlar. He can go for the aggressive peek in towards second middle. So the advantage in the favor of North, and another... I'm so used to seeing Mertz on North. Reverse that. Now the advantage in favor of Heroic against North as Mertz finds 2.
The old big old switch.
Yeah, it's just habits. It's just habits from Pro League.
It's very true. Well, a good start for Mertz, funnily enough. He has actually been able to be a little bit more high-tempo about it. He carries on this pain train as well, as it is storming through the station. So much damage dealt. Found 3 kills into the round. Freiburg will claim 2 frags of his own as well. And they do manage to bring this back to an equal scoreline now. A level playing field to continue from, but it isn't exactly level. The balance has been tipped in favor of Heroic. You can see the cash of North is pretty dreadful.
Yeah, pretty dreadful indeed. And the fact they have $2,000 across the board means there will be no AWP for MSL if you wanted to use it in the next buy round, but obviously North, T side, it feels like nowadays they opt for MSL primary AWP on the CT side, AZ secondary AWP, and then they go for a 5 AK setup on their T side. But Mertz still delivering the kills. Able to find 2 though, the clock from MSL, able to silence the AWP towards Arch. This actually gets caught off guard as well, so casualties early here coming out from Heroic.
Oh. 2v2 though, Stunts. It could go either way at this point. North actually might be able to get a bit of a cheeky upset round here. They need to carry on playing the style of CS they've been bringing out. The defender of Pit. The last remaining line of infantry in CT. He will go down. Kirby gets the elevated angle, gets the advantage.
Wow, Kiabi's has played that so well. Going on top of the hay barrel with the off angle on towards Pip. And MSL through the smoke. Maybe heard Freiberg, maybe sort of gap of the toe, the leg, I'm not sure, but either or, that's a full eco win for North, and that bodes very well going forward on their T side. That's going to force out a force spy from Heroic. Already. 2 upgraded pistols, a 5.7 for Freiberg, Deagle for Tag, 2 SMGs for N sub and a Cillian, and then the M4 for Mertz. So the buy isn't the strongest. No defuse kits as well, and 1 Molotov to work with, so Banana control isn't going to be going in favor of the CTs, but Abs control will.
3-player set up towards Banana. They try and make their play in towards B. Early contact does go through, but the CTs come off so much worse for wear. It's just a small tag back onto MSL, bringing down to 80 HP, whereas they've already lost a man. But they try and fight through it. The bold play, but it will not pay off. Kirby, an easy uppercut as he sends S-Tag flying away from the B-bomb site. He carries on as well on his warpath as he is confident. He has a reason to be. Displays his level of lethality. And it's just down to the one boy that remains. N-Sub once again on Heroic. Forced to retreat. He's got an AK. He's got so much utility. You don't want to just lose it and throw it into the wind. Save onto it. Bring it for into the next round. If he can. There is a wolf pack. They have picked up the whiff. The scent is in the air. And they are tracking him down, Snods. MSL was out for blood. And blood he gets.
Well, North able to hemorrhage the money out of Heroic. Now, as you said, they're out of cash. And now they're going to be in for an eco. Tactical timeout here for North. Sorry, for Heroic, so they can, I imagine, work out how they can fix their CT side early on. Winning the pistol, losing versus the force buy from North with 1 MP5 onto Nico. Then to lose a full eco versus Glocks and P250s as well. So if you're Heroic, you're going to be rather upset here. Only just 7 rounds in, or 8 rounds in now, they've lost 2 rounds versus pistols. Simply put, it's not quite good enough. Obviously, they're lacking Modi. They have their coach in. So it's not going to be the most tense situations in that team right now. I'm sure they're still going to be light-hearted, especially with a player like Freiberg as well. So 5-3, most likely going to be 6-3 when you take a look at the lack of funds for Heroic. And North, if they win even 1, 2 more buy rounds, they could be on to a 10-5 half here and a very, very convincing 2-0.
That would be a good way to start off the day from obviously as well, as they are nowhere near done just yet with a lower bracket slog. They would still have to carry on fighting it out. Try and secure themselves a spot at IEM Chicago. That's what all these teams are playing for. That is the big prize, the bigger picture, that qualification spot. Now then, nothing at all to work with for the side of Heroic. So you expect that 6th round to be picked up by North. Is there any potential for the upset? We saw North do it. Can Heroic do the same? Do they have any surprise things to pull out? Not just yet, as Nico waltzes his way in towards the B-bomb site and just parades over the top of 2 men. That's B now completely free. They're going to walk in, realise the welcome mat's down. AZ slaughters 2 people over towards A. It's all on Mertz, and Mertz shouldn't be able to manage anything. Just with a USP, He can try and push in. There's no SMG, so it's not the worst thing in the world if he dies, if he's attempting to possibly find a frag and get a weapon. That's about it.
6-3 then. Mertz trying to see if he can find an exit frag towards CT. Hope to carry a weapon forward into the 10th round. But seems unlikely here. North with 5 players alive as well means their cash is going to keep swelling. Maybe even close to $10,000 for Nico. Trying to see if he can force someone to die to the bomb radius. But Kirby with the final frag. Nico, 9,500, goes for the rebuy into utility, so now he's at 8.2k. But across the board for North, they've still got enough buys for 2. If the bombs go down as well, maybe 3 rounds they can buy for, so Heroic are up against it. Essetag and Freiburg don't have Molotovs for Banana. So Banana control could be awkward to gain early on as Nico and Kiabi get up close.
Oh, the fight comes through. Mortal Kombat does not go in their favor, Stons. The aggressive play from the CT side, they tried to make it work, the audacity of it, but it really goes wrong for them. Already you're down 2 men. Freiburg and Essetag are gone, just completely blown out of the water. Luckily, Mertz is the only one actually finding any success. And he needs to do a whole lot more damage as well. Track towards mid. MSL overpowers him and shows him why he got removed.
Man advantage for North as Ensub gets caught, expected to be somewhere towards pit, towards the balcony, towards underbalk. They knew there had to be another anchor towards the lay side, and North were correct. 7-3, as now this game seems all in favor of North. On paper, they're the favorites. You add in as well the asterisk of the sub, well, the coach subbing in for the team, as Modi has personal reasons to be away. So, again, I said it as well in the prelim before the map on train. If you're Heroic coming into this one, you know, realistically, even with Modi, you've just made your adjustment and your change, bringing in Mertz. You lose Nico, big adjustment in your team now. Are you realistically going to be qualifying for Chicago straight away? Most likely not. Instead, I imagine with the close qualifier, using it as a way to garner experience for the team and just some good practice in officials.
It's a lot harder to play with a coach and have a new AWPer in the team than it is to switch out an AWPer and allow your IGL to AWP and just have a new rifler.
That's true, yeah, that's a good point to bring up. The reason being is as well, with an AWP you can gain map control in your own way. Obviously an AWPer, I don't want to say goes against tactics, but typically when you have an AWP, it does its own thing at the start of the round, right?
You're very restricted, and it's also, you have such a limited amount of time. On Inferno especially, it's like a ticking time bomb of how early it is going to be effective before it becomes useless.
Especially on the CT side as well, Jack. Retaking towards that B site with an AWP is quite effective towards CT. Towards the A side, though, it's not the best when you're trying to headshot people towards pit or headshot people towards under balcony. It really isn't the most effective weapon in the retakes, especially on Inferno. So, easy with the first kill there in towards the B site. Apart from that, Heroic still trying to work out if they're going to stack a site or just eventually wait for the inevitable. As the North are still spread out fairly thin here, 2 towards Banana, 3 towards the A side. Just going to be leaving Nico alone though towards B. But Heroic made the mistake here. They've got 3 players towards the B site as Nico comes in. Here's the boost, and with that collects the frag on to Ensub.
And that was the only bit of upset potential they really had there. He was the one little lifeline, obviously. Asilian has a gun, but Asilian really just wants to save that weapon. He's not going to try and do too much. Maybe if they could find the early defense against the oncoming B attack, they could have tried to do something. But in reality now, it's just up to Essetag to possibly find an exit frag. But they're hunting. You have a sneaking suspicion as well of his location, but Kirby doesn't decide to look for it. Essetag slowly pushes up. Doesn't want to let him get too far away, but he's trying to use that trigger discipline. Wants to line up the simple little tap with the headshot. Does eventually dink him down. He's going to be spooked now. Works out what's exactly just gone on. Asili in the meantime as well does kill AZ. Essetag actually gets into the battleline. Doesn't have a kit. But he looks like he is going to try and just slowly sneak behind. He could jump on the bomb here, but he doesn't have the time, so it does not matter. Peeks back out, gets spotted out by Valde, and dies for his trouble. That's another round for North as they carry on building up that number. They get now to 8 rounds, Snots. Ooh, hello. Double up setup on the CT side.
Mertz and S attack. So, 8-3, as you said. There was the pistols in the last round for Heroic. They are going to be back onto a full buy. And as you said, the double up setup is going to be the adjustment that the CTs are going to make. Early on, the banana control in favor of North. 8 cheese towards the top of banana. Just going to be doing about 2 points of damage. 1-for-1 trade towards top banana, though. You could argue that goes in favor of North now because it's going to leave Freiburg alone towards B.
Freiburg, the struggle, that's not like him. Normally you expect him to be able to land those sprays, but just overpowered by Nico in the early attack with the AK. Mertz towards mid. Trying to punish with the AWP. The flick does come up, but unfortunately the flick misses, and that springs them into action as well. They now have a read. They know which direction Mertz is coming from. The secondary AWP was taken out of commission just seconds into the round. You've got a 3-player setup on the site, 2 of them coming in from CT, 1 from Banana. That's the last utility really for the T side as well. There goes the final flashbang from Valde. Mertz gets the tag off with the AWP. But that's all it is, just the tag, and it gives him the opportunity to go for the peak as well. So Valde takes him down. Kirby gets himself another 2 kills. And North, no signs of slowing down, Snods. They have got their wheels firmly planted on the ground, and they are speeding towards a first half victory.
Yeah, I mean, already on to 9 rounds. You add in as well the fact that Heroic are going to be on the quasi-buy, just upgraded pistols, light utility, Kevlar as well, so it should be a 10-3 scoreline. North should be going forward into the lower bracket, second best of 3. Actually, that's a lie, third best of 3. Beat Valiance yesterday, beating Heroic here, so they have to play either Space Soldiers or Gambit into the next stage. But as expected, it's going to go 10-3. Cillian last alive in the 1 versus 5. He's just trying to find 1 kill, maybe get some confidence in terms of getting kills on the scoreboard. Maybe try to find an exit frag here to get an AK to have a little bit of an upgrade in terms of firepower into the 14th round. But apart from that, there isn't really much else you can comment. This has all gone in favor of North, especially as well, Jack. Heroic won the pistol.
Yeah. Heroic looked good to start this map off, but they've just looked slowly and surely just worse for wear of every round that develops, Nods, and no signs of resurgence. Doesn't seem like they're actually getting better at any point, so they need to switch things up soon. Is that adaptation going to come, or is it going to come too late? That is the question, because North, they've already got 1 map win under their belt. This is going to be their 10th round. They will then be 6 rounds away from taking this best of 3 and moving on to play either Gambit or Space Soldiers, which should actually be a pretty interesting matchup as well. I mean, we have got a lot of stacked games going on. Obviously, some of the bigger teams have all fallen into the lower bracket, so we're set for a tight affair, whoever gets that 2nd spot.
10-3 then, round number 14. No AWP for MSL, even though they have 13, even 16,000 for Valde. Just goes to show how one-sided this matchup has been. 5-man setup rushing in towards second middle from North as they suicide into the scope of Mertz, but unable to get the 2nd frag there. A 1-for-1 trade towards Arch could mean North steal another round, but they're going to be changing the angle of approach into this round. You can see Freiburg trying to work out, do I go towards A? We've lost that site so many times. It's a hard call to make.
Ooh, dink in the head. Cillian brought down to 29 HP. S-tag as well. Losing health as they're getting slumped up. Things aren't going too fantastically for them, but at least they're able to defend the A bomb site. But there is just 1 man on B. It's Freiburg. He's in a 1 versus 3. Is he able to deal with 3 men at once? Can he take them all on? Or is he going to be punished? Does get the better of the first one. MSL has been killed. AZ as well, tagged up very heavily. S-Attack comes through to kill him. AZ seemed like he might just try and go for the bomb plant at this point, but there's no real reason to. Instead, he takes the firefight. Gets the headshot off, and S-Tag goes down in the end. Freiburg and Heroic finally get another round, but it does not matter. North, they have tons of funds. They are absolutely rich. They can invest into whatever they want as the AKs will be coming back through, Snods. They have all the dosh in the world.
Final round then. Into the first half of the second map. No AWP coming out from Mertz into this one. Just a 5 rifle setup. HE splash damage early on, sending Nico to 26 HP, MSL to 74 as well, so the damage is substantial. North trying their own luck as well with the HEs. But Vasilian, ooh, Mertz as well. Get obliterated by Valdez. He's going for a hat-trick of frags of entries towards the A side, but ends up eventually going to be silencing him on that act. Now the rotations come in towards the A site. 3 versus 3 now, as S-Attack towards Library finds another one. And North group up towards Banana to have the 1 versus 3 against Freiburg towards the B site.
Now that's the scary part as well, because Freiburg is the only one there. He has just called for assistance after he heard the flashbang launched in, because he believes this will be the true commitment. The spray barely misses, slightly above the head. But unfortunately for him, the response is there from MSL. He knows his location. The thermal vision goggles were on. Strikes back with the Kalashnikov. Puts him into a shallow grave, and it's now up to just the remaining 2 members of Heroic to try and respond as they're going to push their way back through. Tiptoeing around, trying to get in position to go for this hit on the B-bomb site. The Molotov is down. MSL waits to peek it out, finds another kill. MSL doing damage into the round, just being the big top contender. And there we have it. That is going to be an 11-4 half as we work our way through Snods. Heroic, they had a good start, but once again, that's all it was. A good start. Nothing else came.
11-4, yeah. We saw the 7-0 lead on Train, ended 8-7 at the half. Now we have the pistol round 1. They win their force buy as well, and then they get reset by clocks.
Yeah. And
yeah, I mean, 11-4 the first half. That was a T side as well from North. Going into the CT side, I think this should be, I don't know, maybe a 16-5, a 16-8 at best for Heroic going into this one. If they lose the pistol, maybe in a 16-3.
Yeah,
16-4, sorry.
It could be over pretty darn quick if this carries on. Because, I don't know, it just feels like there's nothing really left. There's no sort of fuel in the tank. They've expired everything they can do. They're trying stuff. It seems pretty stale right now. And it seems like we'll be getting back into this one quite quickly as well. So hopefully there's some interesting things to go down. But this pistol round is very important. This is the time where we can actually stress it. Heroic need to get it, or Heroic could be sent packing. This will be the end of their run. Obviously, they're in the lower bracket. If you lose this, that'll be a 2-0 for North, and their run will be over.
Peek towards middle. Just going to be the information gathered by Valde. Spots the players going in towards Banana, and you can see as soon as that information's relayed, North just backing up from top Banana, playing passive towards the site, anticipating a B play from Heroic. Still keeping 3 players though towards A. MSL, Nico, locked in towards Arch, playing the bait setup. Question is though, will Heroic be baited into it?
It seems like it could be the correct call. In terms of the utility they've gone for as well, they do have the correct setup to go for an A strike, smoke off the angles of attack, flashbangs over as one burst in. Nico finds the first kill. S-Attack tries to respond, and he does so in great fashion. Finding the 2 frags might be the upset they potentially need. Valde as well. If he would have got the backstab, that could have denied the round, but instead Mertz will kill him. Now things look good, Snods. This is where Heroic can lock it down. They're in post plants, they're in good positions, they can build from this. They just need to keep it close to their chest. Don't get overzealous. Oh, but the response from Kirby is fierce. This man is a lunatic when he gets into these situations. He's lethal with a pistol, and that's why the double kill comes out. AZ will clean up on Mertz. You get the defuse, and that could be game right there.
Could be indeed, Jack. 12-4. Second half pistol won by North. You wouldn't think this has now gone 1-for-1 in terms of pistols. Heroic only able to conjure up 4 rounds on their CT side of Inferno. I mean, obviously, with the stand-in, it is to be expected to lose this best of 3 versus North. But going forward, obviously, over on the B stream, if there's a B stream on today, I'm not actually sure of that, but we have Space Soldiers versus Gambit. I'm actually going to take a look at the HOTV numbers on which team's winning that one, as we can try and work out who North, if they continue this fashion and win the conversion rounds. MSL, my God.
They've just all bursted into MSL's face. And one after another, it's just windmilled them.
You need some context on that, mate.
Phrasing.
Hashtag no context.
Asilian, though, left in the 1 versus 3 after that cheeky little burst. See what he can get up to. If he can try and achieve anything. Obviously, he does have the Famous. Kirby is quite low. But they are swarming him, Snods. They're coming in from all angles. Backtracks round, finds the first. Ooh, nearly. Did get the adjustment, but obviously couldn't wipe out Nico there with a Famous. That is going to be a 13-4 scoreline. At least they try and do a little bit of damage to the economy, but that just doesn't matter. It's too late. It's not about the economy, it's about the rounds right now. You physically just have to get the wins. Can they get the W? That'll be the important fact. Nods Heroic. 4 rounds on the board. They're going to need a whole lot more, and they need to switch it up right now. They've left the bomb in T-spawn. They've gone for the 5 AK setup. They're just going to spread out and play the default.
So, Space Soldiers won the first map, 16-11 on Train versus Gambit. Gambit are now down 8-7 at the half. But Gambit are going on the CT side of Train, so still a chance there. But anyway, into this one, 5 versus 3 early on. Heroic looking good into the first buy round here of the second half. All down to AZ and Kiabi. And it seems like they will be going for the save as well. Right decision to make. No real chance of winning that 2 versus 5, even though they have the defuse kit for AZ. Just the numbers, the situation of coming in through middle and through arch, having to retake so many intricate angles. So, 13-5. Still going to be an 8-round advantage for North. I wouldn't be getting too paranoid or too worried just yet if you are a North fan out there. So, a few exit frags found by AZ, but apart from that, nothing really to get confident about just yet.
Yeah, not trying to overforce the issue. They don't want to tip the balance. They just want to save these weapons and get through with a healthy amount of utility. Something to give them a bit of a bolstered economy when they get through to this next round. Buy cannot come through. They don't have to cash for it physically. So Heroic actually have a chance to start to get a couple of rounds here. They can keep on building and get that foundation going. Obviously, they need a buffer, because North aren't that far away from taking this entire series, and there is going to be a pause. Now, we don't have confirmation just yet on which side this is going to be, but there is a timeout in play.
Question is, who's the timeout from? Is it North to try and basically strategize their final round to win versus Heroic? If it goes for 14-5, they reset the money for Heroic. It's pretty much GG. For Heroic, if they lose this round, again, pretty much GG. Do they take the pause, try and work out what they can do? Or is there just simply a technical issue?
You never know, mate. That's the beauty of it. Maybe their HUD's disappeared.
Keeping us on our toes.
We are back in, however, as the timer will tick down. So we saw a little bit of light spending for North. They had the investment into a couple of CZs and a little bit more utility coming through. All that utility they have, though, is 2 smokes, 2 flashbangs, a Molotov and a HE, and they need to put their down list in and actually make those useful. Nice early nade.
Yeah, wow. Damage done early to Asilian. Down to 65 HP. Banana control in favour of Heroic. We'll be stacking 4 players towards the A site, leaving AZ alone towards B. He has the M4, Molotov, smoke, flashbang as well to back him up in that scenario on his lonesome. The bomb is still towards T-spawn from Heroic, so they haven't really decided what the plan of action is just yet. But apart from that, it's get aggressive in towards apartments, get that first kill, and get the hell out of there.
Ooh, through the smoke, though, Asilian heard the pitter-patter of footsteps and was very angry. Fired against the audio cues and was able to get that kill on Valde. So it is now an equal situation once more, but the favour is in the hand of Heroic. They're unsure of where this true play is going to go to just yet. The bomb will be recovered by Freiburg, clears Banana, and they start to encroach, seeming like it will be a true play towards the A site. Snuds. They have the utility for it. The second smoke is still in the inventory of Ensub. They have the flashbangs to get in, and here will come the pain. But Nico, is he going to be the dealer of death and set them up on a date with a coroner? Or is this one going to be too rapid? Actually, the frags do go their way. Kirby as well, tucks down, peeks back up, annihilates Mertz, and that is a huge round to win. That's an important one.
14-5 then. Economic reset against Heroic. So it should mean maybe a CZ coming out for S-Attack unless he's been dropped something better. An MP5 now for Mertz. But just the Deagle, Kevlar, no utility for S-Attacks. The buy is not the strongest here from Heroic. They still have 3 AKs to work with, so it's definitely a winnable round. Especially when AZ goes into the early peek towards Banana. The spam as well through the smoke connects extra damage. Third frag by MSL, 4 versus 2.
This is the 15th round. Surely there's no way. They outnumber them 2-1. They outgun them as well in terms of the firepower they have to deal with. The caliber is just much higher. And Heroic just trapped right now. Looking a little bit lost and worse for wear towards mid. As they do just sat in position, just waiting. S-Tag does get the headshot off. Actually finds the kill onto Nico as he goes for the fast face. Supported by the flashbang of his teammate. And this sets them up for the potential to go towards the B bomb site. They're going to walk in and go for a slow contact push.
2 versus 3. S-Attack is low as well onto 15 health. So, the coach, now player for Heroic. And S-Attack grouping up towards the B site. They're versus KRB. No utility though from him. Just has the AK and defuse kit. If he gets 1 frag here, Jackie's done his job. They can do a 2 versus 1 retake. They've got defuse kits, Molotov to flush out the player as well. But let's see. Molotov comes in, peek from KRB, gets his 1 job. His one kill. He's done his job. And there you have it. S-Attack, 15 HP in the 1 versus 2.
They're just pushing straight in as well. The early flashbang through the smoke. In terms of the utility that is left, they have a final flash. It's going to be the deep flash. They build off the back of it. They push in. Oh, the AK spam. A small adjustment. That could have been 2 just crazy shots and a round for Heroic. But instead, the way the future has gone is a round win for North. That's 15-5 now. 1 round is all it takes, Nods. And that is going to be them moving on to play the winner of either Gambit or Space Soldiers, and Heroic packing up their bags and walking on out of the server.
10 match points for North. Should be the GG here. 3 MP5s into this one. CZ and an AK onto S-Attack. HE from Valde. Throwing a second too early there. Could have done some damage to Ensub. But Banana control in favor of Heroic. But top Banana still in the hands of North as they leave AZ alone there once again. Rotate from KRB in towards the A site, and that's going to be the correct rotation. As Heroic gang up towards middle, and they go for the mid burst.
Is it going to be an effective burst, though, in terms of the weaponry they have? Instantly, the Molotov goes in. It will be extinguished, but the only thing that's going out is the flames for Heroic as the damage is done. They are being blown to smithereens. Kirby and MSL come in as a dynamic duo. They annihilate anything that comes towards them. Freiburg is the last man left standing. Roll back the ears to the Source days as he does have the MP5, but unfortunately, that is going to come to an end.
How good was the MP5 in Source?
I think the TMP was better.
What's the TMP?
TMP
is it like the UMP?
It's kind of like the MP9.
Okay.
But it had like a silencer on it. Okay. I preferred that. I thought that was much better.
Really? So why is there so much nostalgia behind the MP5? Was it in the game first?
It was just a good gun, mate. It was just cute, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, it's
a nice gun. Ooh, does things like that. Freiburg with a 1, but that is the end of it. It's all said and done. North take a 2-0. They're going to be walking out of here with their heads held high, meaning they move on to play the winner of Space Soldiers versus Gambit, which is obviously still going on right now. But that one should be a spicy affair. Meanwhile, for Heroic, obviously, not their fault. They couldn't field the full roster. They did have to bring the sub in. They played their darndest. They had a few good rounds. Overall, it just seemed like it wasn't quite there. North on the day, the better squad.
Yeah, I mean, even with their full roster as well, new team, new roster into a stack qualifier like this with Space Soldiers, Gambit, Avangard, ENCE, North as well. As I said before, they weren't really expected to make it all the way to Chicago, but to get some experience, they've done that. At least they had a good performance versus Alliance. Yeah, I said the 2-0 there. They look good. Modi especially look good, so maybe the honeymoon phase with the new players where everyone's motivated to play, everyone's deathmatching, everyone's putting in the hours. See if they can keep that up going forward. But still, 1-0 to Space Soldiers. Actually, if you break down the bracket, Jack, I can quickly look at the score.
So in terms of the bracket, what we do have left now, guys, as I've been saying, it's whoever wins that. So we can check the score, see who is most likely going to be playing against North. And then after that, it will just be one final best of 3 in the lower bracket. That is to see who gets the lower bracket spot. The next game of the day, though, that we will have coming up here on the mainstream is ENCE Esports versus Avangard. That one is straight for a qualification spot. That is the last best of 3 in the upper bracket.
So it's 10-9 right now in the matchup between Space Soldiers and Gambit. Gambit winning the second map. Space Soldiers won the first one, so it may go to a third map in that regard. But yeah, as Jack just said, ENCE versus Avangard in our next best of 3.
Yeah, which should be a pretty tasty affair. Obviously, that is our last upper bracket game. That one is for a spot, so you will not want to miss it. So we can find out who is going to IEM Chicago. We will know at 2 p.m. Stay tuned for that. When we come back, we will have a beautiful qualifier game on our hands. That's 2 p.m. We'll see you after the break.